Hi guys, happy Monday. I just filled up my stories, so you'll have to go watch later, but I have been up like all night. I've pretty much been up since midnight, but that's for another day or time or place. But I was like, it's Monday morning, it's 10 a.m. I'm here with some of my favorite people ever. This literally like excites me and invigorates me to be able to jump on here with all of you guys. We are going to be talking all things Momentum Meetup and leading into the work that we can do for Leaders Retreat that was just launched. If you missed the meetup, it's okay. We have a virtual one that I just posted in the chat. If you missed the announcement or the e-blast or any of the information, that's okay, because we're going to get you all caught up. But they announced Leaders Retreat is going to be a cruise November 2nd through the 6th, 2023. This year, we are going to be on a wonderful, glamorous celebrity cruise ship. But we have to get to work, okay? The way this contest is designed, it is level 1 recruiting, retention, helping people go silver, ranking up, and retaining, November 2nd through the 6th. And so we are going to be talking through the Power Hour like it's all the winning the day. Everything we've been doing for the last 3 years, we are just going to kind of refine and get to work. But our team right now is doing silver and 6 with some new videos from some amazing top leaders. And the video from yesterday is perfection. Tamara Holloway is one of the tippy top diamonds doing amazing things. And all of the tips and pointers that she gives on this video is on follow-up, list building, how to reach out, why to reach out, all the things, which is all of the foundational work that we need to be able to get to work, do the work. So what I want you to do is have your pen and your paper. And as you're listening to Tamara, this first 20 minutes is going to be the kick in the pants for what we need to do. I really want you to be reflecting on, do I do these things? What areas can I improve? Do I need to adopt a follow-up strategy? I love her story. She's going to talk about Emily Burgess too. And I tell you guys about that story all the time, but you get to hear from her. So we're going to watch this and then we will kind of go over super quick Leaders Retreat requirements. And then we will get to work on the action steps that Tamara's going to talk about with list building and following up. So Jennifer, I'm going to let you cue that up and we will rock and roll.
Messy screen, but we're going to do this. We got this. Do you remember in the beginning when she made this Silver and 7 series and it was just like a game changer for people? So it's awesome that they've kind of rebuilt it for more current vocabulary. So like she said, make sure you're ready to take notes. I've got my paper ready. Here we go.
Okay. Hey, everybody. Welcome to day 3 of Silver in 6. I'm Tamara Holloway, Diamond Ambassador with Plexus, and I am so excited to be sharing with you all on this wonderful 3rd day of our series. So as I was brainstorming with some of my leaders, we came up with numerous ideas on how to rank to silver or how to teach others how to rank to silver. And so that is what this series is all about. Haven't the videos been amazing already? So much to learn, grab onto, and then go and implement. We are all about action steps throughout this series. So as y'all know, silver is a pivotal rank for your new ambassadors that join because it helps build confidence. It helps build belief in themselves about this business. And that's important. The skill of follow-up, it did not necessarily come super naturally to me in the beginning, but it has grown into a strength of mine over the years with a lot of trial and error, trying something and it not working. So I'm tweaking it a little bit, pivoting a little bit. And that's how you hone a skill, right? By practicing it, looking at it, and pivoting where you need to. If you notice something is not necessarily working, you got to try something else, right? So let's jump in and let's talk about intentionality in your follow-ups. So I would say 20 to 30 minutes a day of intentional conversations with potentials is one of the most important things that you can ever do for your business. It's important for you to realize, though, that the conversations that you are having today, they aren't always necessarily about today's responses. So you may be planting seeds, deepening connections, opening some doors, building trust, dripping some belief, and inviting them again, or maybe for the first time, to experience Plexus. But if you are consistent in your connecting and in your reaching out, then today's responses should be coming from the intentional conversations you've been having for the last 30 days, 60 days, 90 days, or maybe even longer than that. Many that have joined my team over the last several years, it could take up to 3-6 months, and y'all, even some up to 2 to 4 years. In fact, Emily Burgess, a lot of you know her video will be coming up in a couple of days. She actually rejected my samples back when I was a gold ambassador. Threw them straight up in the trash, didn't want anything to do with them, said no thank you. But she finally joined my business over 4 years later, and then went on to become a diamond, one of the strongest diamonds on my team. So after 4 years of that dripping belief and building trust with intentional connection and intentional follow-up, she ended up coming on board. Now, is that always going to happen? Of course not. But the moral of the story here is that we have to continue to drip that belief, to build that trust, to build that rapport with continual connection and follow-up, right? This business is all about connecting with people. Follow-up is crucial. Most people don't say yes to trying Plexus until after their 5th, 7th, even 10th exposure to it. Think back when you joined, like how many posts did you have to see? How many times did you have someone message you? How many times did you think about the products or research the products or look at the business opportunity before you said yes? It is so rare to talk with someone one time and they join you, okay? In fact, I'm not sure if that's ever happened to me in all of my almost 10 years with Plexus. So that means that we have the power to create massive change in countless lives if we become what I'm going to call a professional follower-upper, right? This is a skill set. So yes, we are here to talk about ranking to silver in 6, but I could not go without saying that a day in and day out approach to connecting and building trust is crucial to the long-term success of your business. It should be a part of your daily IPA, your daily mode of action. And if you're intentionally reaching out to others, just like Jessica discussed on day 1, then you're always going to have that funnel of people to follow up with, right? They go hand in hand. So let's talk about some follow-up tiers, some tangible things that we can talk about for the here and the now. So my first question to you is, do you have a list of all the people that you've talked to about Plexus in the past? Whether that was a year ago, even 2 years ago, or a week ago, maybe yesterday. If you do not have a list of all those people, I want you to do that today. Like number 1, have a running list of those that you have dripped Plexus on so they don't fall through the cracks. Do you have a system for that? Let me tell you, way back in the day, you know what my system was? I would just pull up my messenger and I would scroll and look at names that popped up, open the message and go, oh my gosh, it's been 3 months since I said I would check back in with them. Or, oh my gosh, it's been 6 months. I cannot believe that. They were interested in Plexus and I let them fall through the crack. So that is what I did way back in the day. If that is the approach you're doing that you just hope you remember, it does not work. Take it from me. So do you have a list? Do you have a system in how you are following up with people? Second, y'all, you cannot be attached to the immediate result. If your emotions are tied up in your initial responses, you will easily get discouraged, or maybe you'll become scared or hesitant to continue reaching out and to continue following up. No, don't attach your emotions to the result of that immediate interaction. Just move on to the next person. Hopefully you have several people in that funnel from your reaching out, from your posting and sharing on social media, that you have more and more potentials to follow up with and continue to drip that belief and continue to grow that connection with them. Next step, listen more, talk less. The more questions you ask, the more likely that you are going to find out what their true needs are, right? The more questions you ask, the more likely you're going to figure out how Plexus or the business opportunity can help meet that need. So often, you guys, I see people dump Plexus on people instead of drip Plexus on people. Asking more questions and finding out what that true need is, or that true concern is, or what is at the root of their interest, that is going to help guide you in what to share. Same goes for finding out what maybe their hesitancy is, or what they're skeptical about.
Yeah.
Time.
The house, my time, we're going to the woods.
Conversations
And
along.
she signed up.
Asking.
She did everything she signed up for.
I'm pausing it so I can find who that is. Well, it stopped.
About Plexus off and on for a couple of months. In fact, I did this with my last reset customer. Hey, I noticed we've been talking about Plexus for the past couple of months. You've asked a lot of questions about reset, and we've discussed that. Tell me what your hesitancy is. I know that there's got to be something that's kind of holding you back. And instead of her ignoring me, which she had done on my previous message, I just straight up asked her in a kind way, of course, in an approachable way, in a gentle way, but just showing her that I cared and that I wanted to understand what her hesitancy was so we can move forward. And come to find out, she was having a hesitancy. She was scared of how she would physically feel on the reset. She was scared that she wouldn't be able to do it. And so we were able to talk through what her actual concerns were and make her feel comfortable in moving forward, knowing that I would be there with her every step of the way. So sometimes it's as simple as, not necessarily that they've lost interest, but there's something that's holding them back. So the more we ask questions, the more we dig in with them and dig deep, you can uncover possibly what is holding them back and then help them overcome that. So next, leave every conversation you have setting the expectation of when you will contact them next. So I want you to take this phrase out of your follow-up vocabulary. I've been saying this for years, so maybe some of you have heard me say this, but the sentence at the end that I've seen so many times that I used to use, let me know if you have any questions. So that was a phrase that I used to use often. Still see it often when I'm looking at, various team members' messages that they'll send to me, whether it's following up or even reaching out for the first time. A lot of people end with something like that. So I want you to take that out of your vocabulary, because instead of sitting back and hoping, oh gosh, I hope they have a question for me so that I can continue that conversation, let's instead set that tone, set that expectation, and lead that conversation like a professional. So an example might be, Emily, I can't wait for you to watch that video that I just sent you while your kiddos were napping. I'll touch base tonight to see what jumped out at you. Or maybe I'm headed out to dinner, but I cannot wait to hear what you thought of that testimony that I just sent over. I know you're going to relate to it because as soon as I read it, I thought about you. So I'll check in with you tomorrow morning. I do this simple thing, you guys, without fail. And anytime that I follow up with people, rather than wondering, oh gosh, am I coming across like annoying or too persistent? No, I feel confident because I've set that expectation. They know I'm coming back to check on them, right? And if they haven't watched the video or if they haven't read that testimony I sent, that's okay. I simply set the expectation again. No big deal. I totally get how time can get away from you. Happens to me on the daily. I'll check back in with you a day or two because I cannot wait to hear what you think about that triplex video. I really think it's going to help you with those issues that we've been talking about. And I'm just excited for you to learn a little bit more about that. All right, I'll check back in a couple of days. Continuing to set the expectation, right? Okay, so here's another one. What you truly believe in your mind about reaching out or about following up.
Dressed in white. Okay, love you. Bye.
Connections that will come across in your messaging. I promise you. I promise you. Divorce yourself from that feeling of being apologetic. Your emotions, what you believe, it is contagious. So if you believe you're bothering someone by reaching out to them, or that you are being too persistent, or that you're not sure if they're interested, they're going to sense that. In fact, I've had numerous teammates of mine that have come to me. I've offered several times with people, like, if you feel stuck, send me some of your messages. If you're not getting responses, send me some of your messages, whether that's follow-up or personal reach outs, and let me read through those. And one thing that I've seen over and over again was an apologetic tone. It just comes across like you can tell through the message that they are not confident about what they're bringing to the table. Okay, so I want you just to ask yourself, if you're feeling that way, I want you just to ask yourself, why am I following up? Why am I reaching out? Why am I trying to help this person along? Maybe it's because you want to help your friend with some of her health issues. Maybe it's because you truly care about this person's future. Maybe because you know they're under a lot of financial stress. Maybe because you know they want to be able to stay home with their kids. Maybe it's because you know they have a deep dream to give a lot to a certain charity that they're passionate about. Maybe it's because you simply know that what you have to offer is valuable. And if they just got it and just jumped in, that it could really change everything in their life. So your posture, shake my shoulders here, your posture and follow-up, it needs to be confident because you know and you believe that what you are offering holds tremendous worth for those who take the chance. Their testimony is quite possible dependent on your follow-up. Let me say that again. Their testimony is possibly dependent on your follow-up and on your belief in why you are continuing to come back to them over and over again, because you know what you have is valuable, right? How is that for convicting? Because I know that convicts me. Right? Even if as I was thinking through this, I thought, you know, I could do a better job with some of my potentials that I have in my funnel right now. I could be a little more consistent in the belief that I'm dripping on them. And so it's convicted me, like Tamara, their testimony, what is going to happen in the next 30, 60, 90 days in their health or potentially in the business opportunity, that's dependent on what I am willing to do. If I'm willing to step out of my comfort zone, okay? So last quick tip that applies to really every actionable thing in our business, including follow-up, of course, is motivation versus discipline. Motivation is showing up when you're excited about something, when you feel positive emotions around your business, right? Discipline is showing up regardless of how you feel. So to be successful, to see long-term results, you have to be disciplined. Emotions fade, y'all. Emotions are terrible masters. Do not let them dictate what you do or what you don't do. A few months ago, I committed to doing 21 days of working out in like a 30-day period. And I kid you not, I was motivated to actually do it maybe twice. The other 19 workouts, they were fueled not by a desire to do it, but by my commitment that I had made to myself and to the friend that I was doing it alongside. If I would have let my emotions dictate my actions, I would not have experienced those results from doing those 21 days. Absolutely would not have done it. It came from a commitment to what I had committed to. Honestly, there was not a desire to do it. If we only work or if we only sit down and do our power hours or our IPAs or reach outs or follow-ups or any of these skills that we're going to talk about all throughout the week, when we feel like it, we're probably going to be really
sorry about that,
inconsistent. So I just want you to think about that. Like, are you committed? Are you committed to doing the hard things, to doing the easy things, to doing the daily activities that it takes to see long-term success and growth? And speaking of commitment, you guys, do you have someone you're accountable to in your business? You know, not necessarily a friend or a sideline or even an upline that you occasionally check in with, but someone who you give permission to really push you towards being your best, to ask you the hard questions possibly, to remind you of what you have committed to. If you don't have that, I'm telling you, you need it. That is a missing piece for you. None of us can do this on our own. And it is really easy to give up, or really easy to give up on something we've committed to when we don't have someone in the trenches with us, putting that shovel back in our hands when we lay it down. So here's my challenge to you for today. I've got a few. One, if you don't have a list of everyone you dripped Plexus on, make that first thing like we talked about at the very beginning. And next, I want you to create just a simple system for follow-up if you don't have one. Mine is super simple. I literally have my list of people. I've had that ongoing for years. And until they've ordered, they stay on this list. And I literally have them in a rotating calendar. Some is following up 3 days later. Some is following up 1 week later. Some is maybe 2 weeks. Some I have a list of they have said no for the last several follow-ups. So I'm going to come to them when there's some sort of fun special. Maybe there's a $10 off coupon or a $20 off reset, whatever the case may be. So you have to have some sort of organized system. Mine is super simple, nothing mind-blowing. Literally in my calendar, I have the names. And then when I follow up with them, I move that name, whether it's 3 days later, a week later, dependent obviously on the conversation that we're in and the steps that we're in on the process of getting them to order or join, right? But you have to have that because if there's really nothing worse than letting someone fall through the cracks because you haven't checked in for several months and then you finally do and you find out they just started Plexus with somebody else. Y'all, that's happened to me numerous times early on in my business. Numerous times. I would be going through my messenger, haven't talked to them in 3 months, haven't talked to them in 6 months, reach back out. Oh my gosh, it's so good to hear from you, Tamara. I actually just ordered from so-and-so like a week ago. Great. Of course, you're happy for them that they're getting on the products, but the regret that you feel the regret that I felt because I wasn't consistent in sharing with them. So I want you to share below in the comments what that's going to look like for you. Or if you already have a system, share it with us. You may inspire somebody else. Second, following up, you guys, it's a skill. It is one that has to be practiced and tweaked before you feel super comfortable doing it. And if you've struggled with this, I want you, this is my challenge to you, is to send someone you trust and respect, whether that's a sideline, a sponsor, your nearest jewel upline, a power partner. I want you to send them three to five of your follow-up messages and then ask them for honest feedback. Give them permission to say, I really think you need to tweak it this way, or this right here feels salesy, or this right here feels like it's all about you and not about me. Ask them for honest feedback and then that can help you tweak how you continue to move forward. Okay, that's a really important thing. Lastly, I want you to follow up with 5 people from that list that you have created. Connect with them, ask questions, be authentic in your interactions, drip belief about Plexus, drip belief about maybe the products that you've been talking about the reset, or maybe it's a business opportunity. And if it's been a lot of months, 3 months, 6 months, maybe longer, apologize, own it. Apologize for not checking in with them sooner. I want you to start today evaluating what you can do differently in your follow-ups. And then I want you to stay committed to that process. So that is a lot of challenge, but I think it's one of the most important things in our business. And I say that because it has changed my business. There are so many people that have ended up joining me, becoming customers, because I was relentless and committed to continuing to follow up with people. And a lot of people that ended up joining me told me, I've had several people talk to me about Plexus, but you kept coming back. Even when I wasn't ready, you continued to seek me out and to share with me. You continued to, they didn't say drip on me, but I was continuing to drip that belief about the business, about the products, and about my excitement for helping them continually. And so when they decided to finally order, it was with me. Okay, so I just want to encourage you. It's such a vital skill that we have to practice. Get help from others if you feel stuck. Ask for some feedback. I've done that for numerous people, and there's always something that I can find. I would say, you know what? I might tweak it like this. Try it this way, because that's all we need to be doing, right? We need to be open and coachable in the different skills in this business. It's so, so important. Okay. Last but not least, another topic that I really wanted to cover with you guys was sealing the deal, closing the sale, so to speak. So if that's something that you've maybe struggled with in the past, I'm going to throw a video, maybe 2, in the comments that I want you to watch, because that is also another really important skill to figure out We've been talking about this for several months. I don't really know where to go. Maybe you need some closing tips on how to close that sale and move on. So I'm going to put those in the comments for you. I'm so thankful for you guys and your excitement around this series and your participation. I've gotten really good feedback already. Sometimes it's just really good to go back to the basics in our business, to go back to the things that lay the foundation for success. And that is exactly what we are doing this week. All right, sound off in the comments. Bye, you guys.
Yeah, that was amazing. And by the way, I will figure out how to set the setting that it will mute people when they join. I'm sorry about that. I know that's so aggravating. All right, Sarah.
Awesome. Okay. I just have to tell you guys, I'm 12 years in. And when it comes to telling it like it is, straight talk, back to the basics, Tamara Holloway is your girl. So I don't know what video she was going to link in the comments, but I will see if I can get some additional details. If you guys found value in that, let me know. This is a Silver in 6 series, and we can kind of continue pulling from the gals that put this together and kind of complete this week for some of, but she laid it out for us, what we need to be working on, right? But I just wanted to give you, so I don't do spreadsheets. I don't do any calendars on my phone. I am a notebook girl. So this was my last page of this notebook is done now. I love these top spiral rings. On any given time when I am doing follow-up, I can flip to my notebook, and every single month I make lists of hot prospects that I'm talking to who are almost ready to order, chicken list people who I've never approached before about Plexus, and then brand new people who have ordered that I need to get them on that, 3-day, 7-day, 14-day, like that follow-up where I'm going to be touching base with them regularly. So on any given month when I'm like, who am I going to talk to? I can go back and see month to month to month, who were the people that I was talking to and dripping on that I need to move the conversation, to that next step. And I'm just going to be completely honest with you guys. I have 4 people on my chicken list right now, and I literally just pray about, okay, what is this message going to be? Because I don't just go in for, I have my messages written down for when I'm going to bring up Plexus, but I am very big on, this is, newer in the last few years. It's about their timeline and not mine. Like Tamara said, it could be 30 days, 60 days, 90 days. It could be 2 years. It could be 4 years. When you are looking to move a relationship to that next level, just be very aware. Okay. So one of the gals that I have been building a relationship with, I saw that she was going to be traveling. She travels a lot, and that's fascinating to me. And I just said, where are you headed next? If I had jumped in with you're traveling, that's awesome, and gone straight in with what I was going to, lead in about traveling and earning the cruise with me and blah, 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 it wouldn't have settled well, because it only took 3 seconds to ask a question and wait and realize that she was flying to a funeral. And so that for me was that reminder that if we just invest in people and love on people and ask lots of questions and wait, a lot of times the timeline will present itself. Does that make sense? I'm not one to swoop in and cold message. I've sent lots of messages to people I've never talked to Plexus about before, and I've never considered it a cold message because I've always felt like there's been an investment. And I loved how Tamara started that. She said, we're planting seeds. We're opening doors. We're building relationships. We're starting conversations. We're dripping belief and building rapport. How amazing does that sound? That we offer hope, health, and happiness. And it doesn't ever have to be a, hey, I'm going to win a cruise. You want to join my team so I can benefit, right? How many of us have gotten messages like that? And it's like, oh, that doesn't settle too well. I don't know that I want to help you out on your goals. You know what I mean? So just be very, very aware of asking questions and intentionally leading conversations can be an amazing way to open a door. So the other thing I wanted to touch on before we stop and actually get to work is when I used to ask people, when they would get frustrated and say, I've talked to 20 people and nobody is responding, I would say, let me see your message. And every single message ended with, let me know. So when she brought that up, I was like, yep, that's like the statement of death for somebody to ghost you, but they don't really They don't think they're ghosting you because they're like, I'll let her know if I have questions. But then they're like, well, I don't know what my questions are. Like, it's just not a strong call to action. So when you lead the conversation with confidence and what that next step is going to be, people feel like, oh, this is a professional follow-upper. This is somebody that I want to get back with because she's setting that expectation, right? If you call for a doctor's appointment, there's an expectation there that you're calling to get something done. There's a call to action. So we need to do the same. I'm sending you this video. This is when I'll get back to you. This is when I'm going to follow up with you. So I love that. But the one thing I want you guys to remember, if you're sharing and reaching out and following up and it doesn't feel authentic and it feels hard, I want you to remember that when you come from a true place of confident posture because you believe that you have something that people need and that you're offering an answer or a solution, that pretty much fixes anything. So whether you need your own personal product testimony or you need to fuel yourself with belief and stories of people who are losing weight, getting healthy, changing their lives financially, whatever you need to do so that when you reach out, you are leading from a posture of belief and confidence, do that. When I did my first Monday night meeting, it was absolutely the worst meeting I've ever done in my entire life because I had note cards of what I thought I should say, and I read them, and there was only 3 people there. I was so nervous. My voice was cracking and shaking. I was like, this is awful. So we had several weeks of me trying to be the perfect presenter and read from my note cards. And I literally will never forget 12 years ago, the Monday night meeting that I set my note cards down. I looked everybody in the face and I said, this is what I'm taking and why I'm absolutely in love with it. And it was just this natural confidence of, I don't have to fit in this box of, what I'm learning specifically on Monday motivation word for word, but it can be a good template. But when you can really get really firm and good with, this is who I am, this is what I found, and I am in love with it, and this is why, that excitement and that confidence is going to translate in your messages. You might be a, hey girl, hey, you need what I have, and that's fine. If that's a natural thing that comes for you, that's great. A lot of times when people get messages from me, it's, hey, I couldn't help but notice, or I couldn't help but hear that this is what you're going through. Would you be open to hearing what I found, right? It can be whatever you feel like fits you, but if you lead from a personal conviction of what we have, every single person on this planet needs, you're not going to have to stress out about what the actual words in those follow-up conversations are. So I hope that helps you. And I have a gazillion videos on the belief meter and writing a scale of 1 to 10 and where you are with your belief about the products, network marketing, the compensation plan, belief in yourself. If you're below a 5 on any of those scales, you've got to do the work to do what it takes to get that belief up. Listen to diamond documentaries, get on more power hours, read more books, surround yourself with 3 to 5 people who are setting goals and going places, because that will increase your belief and that will translate to, I'm gonna talk to anybody who will listen, because everybody's got to do what I'm doing, because, and it might take 4 years, like Emily Burgess. I'll wait 4 years for an Emily Burgess on my team. I'll wait 5 or 10 years for a Tamara Holloway or a Jennifer Leith, or you know what? I will wait, and I will pour into relationships and invest if it takes that long. So all of that to be said, in true Plexus fashion, when you pour belief and build up others and add people to your team, you could be rewarded with a free cruise to a private island. I did some digging. This cruise line owns their own private island that the cruise ship goes to. It looks absolutely incredible. So you are going to get enrollment credits for level 1 enrollments and level 2 enrollments. You're going to get retention credits, which is where this follow-up piece comes, because when they order consistently, when you're handling objections and troubleshooting their products, they're going to keep ordering. Rank up credits. If you rank up or your level 1s rank up, that's going to be amazing. And then consistency credits for staying at that rank. If you have, if you do a big jump from senior gold to ruby, if you stay ruby those subsequent months during the contest period, you are going to get rewarded with points for that. Okay, so there's a huge FAQs. The Help Center is your best friend. We are not going to talk about that. we are going to get to work for the next 30 minutes on making your list. Go through Messenger, go through all of the places that you have that you need to get names down on a piece of paper so that you know who you're talking to. You are going to have to talk to a lot of people to launch this new momentum in your business, create this wave of, I'm going cruising, who is coming with me? And then if you are in lots of messages and following up and you feel like it's crickets, talk to your upline, talk to your sponsor, talk to a sideline buddy and say, listen, could you look at this conversation? Like, can you tell me, like, what am I missing here? And it might just be one quick tweak, the last sentence needs to be a question instead of a statement. There's some really easy tweaks there. And then let's get into follow-up. If you have your list, if you know who you're talking to, we are in the last week of week-ish of the convention contest where your points are doubled. So whatever you need to do to finish out for convention contest, but they are backdating your enrollments to start counting for Leaders Retreat starting the 22nd. So this week is going to overlap counting for convention contest and starting for your Leaders Retreat credits. Okay, so this is a really, really awesome week. And I think this is exciting and wonderful if you can't tell how fast I'm talking, but I know a bunch of you had some great in-person momentum meetups. I loved seeing all of the pictures. I think that's really going to be a great launching point for this. And I'm going to mute and we are going to get to work. I have a whole page of notes. So I'll see if I can get some of that written down for what we're working on, all that good stuff. So let's rock and roll. Making our list, following up, tweaking verbiage, setting that goal. 1,250 credits get you on the cruise ship. Earn it as fast as you can. It's first come, first serve. The first 1,300 people who earn it get a cabin. And then from there, you can earn cruise cash and cabin upgrades and all of the fun things. So ready, set, go. As we're kind of wrapping up, I just wanted to let you guys know that this Leaders Retreat contest is for anyone. And I actually think that silvers and golds are probably, I'm not going to say like they have the upper hand, but this contest was truly designed for people who are recruiting and growing and building their teams. And just full disclosure, I looked back this weekend, all of my team's new enrollments from this weekend with Momentum Meetup were levels 6 through 9. Like my level 9 is amazing. It's exploding. So to get all of this level 1 and 2 activity with credits, it's anyone's game. So yes, Jean, you're saying you earned the last cruise as a silver. So if you've got somebody who's never shared before, or somebody who's silver or senior silver, like this is game on. So yeah, exactly. I think it will be right around 30% of jewels who earn it, because when we have such big teams with deep levels, right? There's just not tons and tons of level 1 growth. Well, for some people there are. So I think it's really, really an exciting opportunity if you're looking to build for the first time, or rebuild, or create a new wave of momentum, or develop an outside leg, or go emerald, or whatever the case might be. This contest period, I think, is going to be pretty exciting for what we can do with this contest. I will post Tamara's video link in the Power Hour chat for you guys. Jennifer, you have anything else as we wrap up?
I'm sitting here making graphics to go with all of the notes that I wrote from Tamara's video. Like, well, I'm going to make one about the professional follower upper, because this is really good training. And then talking about, do you even have a system for the follow-up? Like how she said she used her messenger, and it really wasn't the best system, because if you have an example of someone falling through the cracks, then you know it's not working. So anyways, that's what I'm working on right now. I love getting good training. Thank you for sharing that video, by the way. And also, did you want to share those plans that you just sent me in the Power Hour chat for people?
Okay. I will do that. So there are some diamonds who are way smarter than me. I am not a math person, but there are some scenarios for this is kind of what it would look like for how many new level 1 recruits you need through the 4 months, and then what you need to do for development. It kind of lays out a few maps in scenarios. And I also have a PDF that's one of my team members found, and it's literally a winning the day. It's like, here's what you do. It's it's all broken down. And so you literally, there's going to be a dashboard, but you can pretty much chart yourself for all of your daily activity, for where your points are coming in, all of that. So yes, we will get that information to all of you guys so we can all rock and roll and bring this thing together.
Okay, as soon as I end this, I'm going to upload it because I can see everybody wanting it. Like, I won't leave my computer. I will do it right now, right away. And then we will see you guys on Monday next week. Thanks, Sarah.